deep in NA East action. Now the queues are done, so we're going to just take a little bit longer, wrap up, make sure everyone gets out of their games, make sure everything's good, get final standings, and of course punch some tickets. But first, what we need is we need some casters. I'm feeling Pookie Face and Bala TW. That sounds pretty good. Let's go with that. I'm about that.
It's like you knew we were coming.
Whoa, don't call me out.
You knew that we were here. Zeke, you need to watch that little advertisement with the slurp juice and everything, because you were lagged out in the lobby just then. You need to come right back to us.
Oh my God, Zeke.
Pookie. We've got 5 minutes left in the queue. Zeke is just causing havoc on the stage.
As per usual, Bala.
As per usual.
Oh
but 5 minutes left. NA East. This is the last opportunity. There's 3 spots up for grabs. Who's going to take it? That's the question.
Let's take a look. Games ready?
Let's go ahead into the games and get into the action. It is, again, Reverse and Ninja up on high ground, and probably what we would expect, the 5th zone here. Yeah, finding a position for them.
We already saw a victory royale coming out of this pair, so congratulations to them. They had a 4 elimination victory royale earlier on, so let's see if they'll be able to close this game out. Like you said, we only have 5.5 minutes left to actually queue up for any games in NA East, so this might be their last game.
This could be their last game, and we've been watching quite a lot of them, and I've seen some comments also about, you know, how they're just barely out, like just barely staying in contention, but they have to have such huge games to really push their way all the way up. Oh my goodness, that is very consequential. That edit down right there onto Fuzzy is somebody who was also pushing the pace, pushing the contention, trying to get towards the top of that leaderboard. Ninja in Reverse try to get to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, and that half wall edit being extremely strong, knowing that their builds were only attached by one small 1x1 and using it to actually take out an opponent. Now we have Liquid Vivid here with 72 hours. Both of them looking very good, sitting on, how much is that?
72 points. That's got to be a good omen.
It's got to be good. I mean, 72 hours, 72 points. What could go wrong? Now that we just said that, Bala.
Yeah, it's a curse.
Jeez.
It's a curse. But regardless, I mean, this team has been playing so crazy, both of them. We've seen clutch moments from Vivid. We've seen clutch moments from 72 Hours. Their utility usage is on point today. And really, what I've been seeing, I've been watching a little bit of 72 in the past couple of weeks. He's been just getting progressively better, both mentally and mechanically. He's just been absolutely dominating anytime he plays. Same thing with Vivid, although Vivid qualified in solos in week 1, so had a little bit of pressure relief from him, but right now he is putting it all and making sure that he's going to bring 72 hours to him, or with him, to New York. There you go, English,
yeah.
easy.
Easy peasy. Now, just to your point, you know, with this being a 10-week online open qualifier, we have seen so many duos as well as solo players really improve over the course of 10 weeks. I think that's really been what's been the most exciting. Seeing the progression, seeing the evolution of all of these players, and know that, you know, they've been putting in the hours, the practice, the scrims, the arenas. They've been working so hard to make it to New York, and like you said with 72 Hours, it's certainly paying off for him.
It's a combination of all sorts of practice types, arena customs, pro customs, these games themselves, right? Every single weekend that we're playing, we're gaining more experience. As now players are moving in towards that 6th zone. Shadow Bomb's coming as well. He's going to get right back in with Vivid. The edit down from Vivid, because you can't actually edit while you're in Shadow form, so he's making sure that he's going to get safe in the box before he becomes apparent and visible to all the players around him again.
Yeah, and using that Shadow Bomb effectively to make sure that he did get in there to safety. He didn't have a ton of HP, but it isn't going to matter. He takes out Balti Sama there with the combat shotgun and is going to use another Shadow Bomb to rotate. Now, Vivid actually went over to his left and circled around. They were split for a little bit of time there, but it doesn't matter. Again, no edits there for 72, but he is going to be picked up by his teammate Vivid and is going to be able to shield up safely.
Getting ahead of the pack a little bit, Vivid is, as 72 Hours looks right back and knows that that pack is ready for him to come with Vivid. That's a strategy that these duos are constantly using and pioneered by Zexro and Vinny themselves. These are the first people who really started to start pathing for each other, which is Zexro and Vinny pathing for each other, and then one player staying back. That's how they got those high elimination games around Winter Royale, TwitchCon, and the like.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at all of the names in here. You know, we have Flossin, who unfortunately did just go down to Flux, Reverse UK, Ninja, Vivid, 72 Hours, Zexro, and Vinny. This is a huge lobby, but players are dropping so quickly. We only have 11 players remaining, 8 duos in total. Zexro and Vinny looking very good here with their positioning. They have a ton of mats, a ton of utility. They're looking really good right now, Bala.
Looking really good, that's for sure. I saw Vivid go down in the feed, so looking for 72 hours still, but Zexro just bringing the pressure right onto Reverse, knowing that he can capitalize on this elimination, and then Vinny also having the path still, knowing that he can get right back to his teammate with the good awareness to realize he's getting shot from above. Now, going to take the slurps, take some time to realize the situation. They're in top 5 in terms of duos right now, so all the point thresholds are clear. He's going to take out Kwanzi and then Flex right in the corner. Perfect pinch there from Vinny and Zexro, and perfect opportunity to take that, but still getting pressured from all angles. Pookie.
Yeah, and they are on mid-ground right now. They are getting pressure, but it doesn't matter. It's like they're playing on a completely different level right now. Their awareness in these builds is absolutely incredible. They own everything here, so being able to utilize the edits to drop down and control mid-ground the way they are, it's almost like low ground, but you've got a little bit of wiggle room to work with.
A little bit of wiggle room to work with. We're coming into the final players here. The edits coming in at the same time from Vinny and Zexro there. Perfect opportunity taken onto Seti. 5 players remaining, 3 total duos. They're completely on low ground right now, and they've got barely any more mats to work with. But guess who is still in the game? It's 72 hours. Still up on the highest point in the game, I believe. But hold on, a bunch of players making a play with the launch pad. Vinny's already up there, but Leo is going to take it. They're going to knock him down and force an engagement. Everything is going down. It's now Zexro and Vinny who take complete control of that situation. It's all on to 72 hours down on low ground. Is he going to be able to clutch up against 2 of the most prolific fraggers in the game? These guys are known for grabbing tons of high elimination games. Right now, they're all waiting for it. The turret's going to come down, and that's not going to be anything that you want to see from 72 hours. Zexro and Vinny clean up, and they're on their way to New York, too.
Congratulations to the TSM boys. You love to see it, but you can see in that match ball at the very end how quickly that shifted. You know, 72 hours had high ground. Moth goes down to Ecolo King, just absolutely not aware that both of these players were in the box right below him.
It almost felt like he was a little too overconfident, actually, maybe seeing that they're there, seeing that they're taking his wall, seeing that they're approaching his stairs, and not really caring and saying, hey, I want to still challenge this. I want to make sure that I have this space.
Oh, and up at the top. Here we have Outlet and Turkey Lips up there on high ground. Outlet using the combat shotgun there to try and take some shots. Isn't going to connect, but is going to make a play for this high ground up the side of this mountain. Now, he does have a ton of materials, but we can see, we've seen time and time again how quickly those go when you are having to traverse these very hilly terrains. He is taking shots down below him, and he has covered above him, so he is very, very safe right now. Turkey Lips is actually behind him, also doing a little bit of work, trying to get some shots in on other players, so they're in a good position right now.
That's exactly what they're at. They had so much time off the side of this hill, not finding any eliminations just yet. A perfect opportunity taken, and they tried to get it, but again, remember, queues are closed now for NA East. The 5-minute timer that we talked about earlier is definitely closed up, and now Outlet getting right into the thick of things. He's going to take out Host and his duo right away, seeing that opportunity and seizing it.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if you know this, Bala, but Outlet and I are actually very good friends, and he carries me so many times. So seeing him play like this gives me confidence, and I know that I'm going to have more wins in my future, you know?
Well, we know you have a crazy amount of wins, Boo. Something that I definitely don't have that many wins.
I mean, it's just a win, Bala. You know, you can edit like no one's business, so, you know.
Victory Royale is a Victory Royale, one of the most important things in Fortnite. You know, it makes me jealous. But regardless, these guys are all looking for it to get towards New York right now. Demo and Bizzle, we saw them have such an important clutch performance getting towards the end with a couple of different players. But here, Demo picking up Sunny. Is it their time to shine? Demo and Bizzle right now looking exactly and taking stock of what is around them, looking to see, can they get through here safely? Where can they go from here? And it's just going to be tunneling forward. No opportunities really presenting themselves just yet, but Demo is looking and forcing opportunities. One comes through from Bizzle because they were all focused on Demo, and I think that is actually going to be 2 total eliminations. He might go down the zone, I think, if he's not careful, but hold on, Bizzle is stuck here against Commandment and High Sky.
It looks like Demo did end up disengaging there. Now, whether he had some kind of heals of slurp juice or no, he does end up going down, unfortunately, for Bizzle. His partner is going to be left behind there. That's unfortunate.
That is so unfortunate. What happened there was Bizzle was in shadow form. He was trying to get edited down from his teammate Demo. But when he made that edit, High Sky and Commandment immediately took that opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take you out. He's gone. Bizzle now trying to clutch, still fighting against Commandment and High Sky, but I think that might be it. Yes, Bizzle did end up going down just then, I believe, but Kez and Fung right now taking out Commandment as well, who did take out Bizzle just then. So Kez and Fung, all of a sudden, they're in a strong position. High Sky is still above them. But that might be changing very soon here, but no, the ramp over and the pressure coming in. Yes, what a shot there from Kez from down below. And speaking of down below, everything all of a sudden is gone for Bolt Glaze. He has no materials. And while they all fought down below and while the fight on high ground ended up going down, Kez and Fung take advantage from mid ground and clean out both high ground and low ground.
Oh, look at that fossil, Bala. There were so many things that were happening at once there. We had so many fights occurring on high, mid, low ground. I feel as though at one point, you know, we had 20 people alive, and then it went down to 2, and then the game was over. It took a lot for me to be able to digest everything that just happened in that last match. But forget about that, because we have another one here, and we are looking at Steens right now. RBK Gilly, unfortunately, his partner not in this match anymore. But Steens has got he's got the bush on, so you know what that means.
And a little whip skin. So I don't actually know what this means. It's kind of confusing, actually.
I don't know. I was hoping you could give me an explanation. That's why I set you up for that. But you definitely didn't take it. So, you know, we're just hashtag Fortnite World Cup. If you can give us an explanation as to, you know, what kind of joke I was trying to make there, the bush and the ice cream, and it's, I don't know. You know, let's move on. So we have Steens there. Now he does end up taking a shot, but the bush blocks 1 instance of damage, so he's not very scathed by any of that there, but he's got people dropping into his 1x1s here, really being aggressive, but it doesn't matter because he gets the flick shot off on Apex Sturtles. He goes down, and now he's going to look for his partner, who also made the mistake of coming into his box as well. So Aggro and his partner just completely obliterated by Steens.
Steens is not stopping either. I was actually wondering, There, he is finally going to go down, and I think that's kind of a representative of the play style that he was playing. He had the bush on earlier. He had so many different things going on. Playing a little bit like scared when they got into his box, continuing to make these edits, continuing to try to get away, but they did not want to let him go. Now we're already actually down to 6 duels remaining. This is one of the most aggressive games. Must be one of those W key games towards the end of the queues where people try to get one more game on top of a full-on, push for getting the most eliminations. And I've already seen Zayton sack in one of these games right now. I see them in this game, and they're notorious for getting a crazy amount of eliminations. But hold that, because it's Parur right here who's getting the most out of this game, but finally going to start getting pressured. Is out in the open. Put an end to the kind of rain here as the 5th or 6th zone starts to move.
Yeah, he is going to use a mini there to get himself shielded back up to 150 effective health, but he does have the 6 Shadow Bombs, Bala, as well as 3 times 20 instant health pots essentially sitting in his inventory there. So he is going to take the high ground, but gets rifted up, is going to drop down completely and try to make a play on any opponents that are, coming into the zone that are pulling their gliders way too early. Isn't going to hit any shots, but now looking to low ground, hits for 36 and then 72, rips the shield completely off of one of his opponents.
That was ridiculous. Just the damage that he's instantly putting on that player. Fortunately, when you're in shadow form right now anymore, especially with patch 9.3, you can't get the lock onto those players when you're controller there. So now Parur, I don't know what I'm calling this guy, but regardless, he's getting pressured and he keeps splitting up with his teammate Buka. He was down below earlier, right before he got rifted. He was pressuring all sides, and Buka was somewhere else, making sure that, I'm covering you. But they're actually going up against Envy, Lenane, and Tyler 15, and guess what? This is a World Cup qualifier team. So Buka and Parur got some work to do ahead of them.
They do, and I don't understand why Parur is not actually utilizing his health that he has right now. Oh, I think he's about to use it. Yeah, he's going to call Buka over. They are going to use it together. Use that AoE to get themselves a little bit more health and shield, but it doesn't matter because Lenane and Tyler know. They know what they're trying to do. They saw the campfire, and it's not going to be enough. Envy and Lenane now looking for Buka. Buka took out Tyler, so now it's a 1v1. It's not a 1v1.
There's one more
what's
player.
happening?
There's one more player somewhere around. But all of a sudden he gets rifted, and there's so much going on in the final moments, which is crazy because of how many players were in this, but he's going to go full challenge. Lenane does not have any chill. He's just going for it right now. He knows that these guys are all fighting, and he is so low on health. He cannot take any fall damage. That's why he opts to take that Shadow Bomb. But I think that was a mistake as he starts to get chunked right down, but not too much has been revealed. But no, Dylan on TTV is going to take him out at the last second. Sweetie, who they came out of nowhere. They must have been in shadow form the entire time because I didn't see them.
Or on ultimate high ground. I have no idea where these players were. It's like you said, they may have been in shadow form. I think possibly they were on high ground. Who knows where they were? It doesn't matter. The fact is that they've netted themselves a victory royale, and we are going into one more game here. We have only 6 players remaining in this one, 3 duos, so it's going to be a 2v2v2. It is the 5th circle, though, so look at this game, Bala.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the amount of points that a lot of these players are having and ending up in these games. We talk about, those games right before the queues end, and people playing them out to try to go for those high elimination games because of how they end up with the amount of players in them, the players that stay all the way to the end. But in this case, Untamed and Siler not taking full advantage, and really they're close. If they had a crazy game here, they could have possibly been pushing 70 points. But right now, not many eliminations left on the table, not many of those elimination points up on the table either.
Yeah, and you can see here that all of the players were actually concentrated in that one small little area. Everybody trying to rotate into the southern side of this circle. Pushing up is Untamed, gets the knock, and then absolutely just annihilates Playmaker there. So he is going to get himself a few more resources. They do have the Porter Rift, so we're going to have to see, if they end up utilizing that. But with so few players left, I don't really think they'll need to.
No, absolutely not. And if they do, it ends up being a weird situation where you're really just giving yourself the opportunity to get shot down and put back out of the game. Right now, a little bit of moment of calm as that 6th zone does get revealed. We've got 30 seconds till it starts moving, and I think 30 seconds until the action really starts to heat back up here.
Yeah, and the zone going in the complete opposite direction to where it went to from the previous one. So these players are all kind of starting to get a little bit low on resources. It's very interesting to me that there are so few players left in the game. Nobody is trying to actually farm any kind of resources that you can see with all the trees there. They're all just kind of sitting and waiting for each other to make a move. So Untamed is actually going to be the first one to make the play and go up towards high ground. His partner Siler is actually to his left there, also raining shots down. They have to know that there's players in this box here. They are taking shots at them. It is just going to be a matter of trying to figure out where exactly they are at this point.
You know, with the amount of players left in this game, I just have to wonder. Actually, as Untamed is going right on to Dodo, that's actually going to find one more player for him. Or no, it's a whole duo to find. Siler's fighting on high ground right now. Is he going to be able to find it? Yes, Mark goes down. And I gotta say, Storm Surge must have done its work there because there was nobody in that game. There was nobody at all. But regardless, a good win for Siler and Untamed. They clean up the end of that lobby. We're gonna continue moving because NA East, still, the action is ending. And there's still so many people who are, you know, fighting for that last couple of spots there.
Yeah, the queues have definitely closed at this point. They only had about 5 minutes remaining when we started casting. So, you know, we're definitely just seeing, like you said, these games where these players tend to go full send to just get as many points on the board as they possibly can. Now, these guys know they're able to update the scoreboards every so often and the leaderboards, so they know approximately where they're sitting. So going into these games, Bala, as somebody who plays quite a bit, as somebody who's observed a lot, what do you do if you're kind of a few spots out of the top of the leaderboards? What is your game plan?
I'm just trying to play it my best, and I'm trying to maximize every single game that I have. It depends on how much time, though. We talk about the style of games as it comes down to the queues. But regardless, I mean, you can also see, while you're sitting in that queue, you can...
Joker, t'es où?
Knockdown on Cat. Now, if he can get that siphon out very quickly, he's going to be fine, which he absolutely does now. Going to be healed up again to full HP, so thank goodness for that, because that was a lot of pressure on those two for a brief moment. You can see that they have a baller in there, in their little build with them, so that is going to be a little bit of an opportunity for them to use to rotate when they need to. But we can see here Posix in this lobby. We've got Vinny, we've got Zexro. We have a lot of key players again in these lobbies here.
I'm seeing on the right side of the screen, Bhags and his teammate, his duo partner, Hart, trying to make their way up. They were in 4th last we checked, but I'm also seeing Snoot and Thwifo, Slacks, who was Key's duo partner that Vinny took out earlier, just moments ago in the game. And he's at 90 points right now. So the fact that Keys went down and Slacks is still up, he knows the pressure is on. He has to make this work, and he has to stay even above who he knows is in the game because he took out his duo partner. He knows that Vinny and Zex are in here, and he knows how close they are to him.
Yeah, and if you're Slacks right now, you are certainly not feeling the best. Your duo's partner is gone. You're all by yourself. You don't have the best loadout, but you know what? It doesn't matter.
Ouais, frérot.
Is looking to make a rotation, hangs in here just a little bit too long, so does end up taking a little bit of damage, but he does have the minis.
T'es chaud clavier sous ou quoi?
Oh my gosh.
He's in the corner. Yes, he drops him in. I think that might be
Première fois que je joue comme ça.
High on the leaderboards earlier with his teammate N-Pen. He's going to take him out, take the mini first, and then the cypher elimination to make sure he goes up to max. Vinny and Zex are still in the game. And I just have to wonder, who is going to come out on top of this, because this is going to decide a lot.
Qu'est-ce qu'il veut?
Extra right now, quite split though.
À chaque fois j'achète un paquet,
which is not something you want to be doing when you have to rotate. All it takes is one duo to enter into your builds, and both just look at you and say, you know what, have that shotgun, here you go. But it doesn't matter, Zexro and Vinny are now reunited. The TSM boys making their way through these builds here, looking to rain down shots onto their opponents. Hits the 42. He does have a lot of opportunity here to take out either some players or, oh my goodness.
Jamais piqué dans ma peau.
Ben
là pas cher.
But this is what
C'est que
utilité na ça. He is so good. We all know his aim is crazy. And looking right up, he sees the sky platform. They're actually going to build right all the way back up to it, get a little bit of height, because they know these players eventually have to come down off of it. And I have redeployed, but it's dropped on Vinny. Starting to fight for it, not hitting the shot. I think that's going to be his cue to get right back down. And to Zexro, can he do it? Get tagged a little bit while trying to do this. Yes, finally, boom. Oh, that's so scary. As one player right in front of him as he glides down. But perfect landing there. He's going to box him right out.
This is so risky for him to keep doing this and keep redeploying in this fashion. They have 17 players remaining in this lobby, so you at any point in time have 14 people looking at you. He doesn't have any builds left, so he is going to have to use the redeploy to get down safely, but he goes down, unfortunately. Slacks takes out Vinny, getting a little bit of revenge for his partner. You love to see it, Paula.
That is revenge in this game. Everything right now is hinging on the fact that Keys got revenge there, or got avenged there. Here, Zexro now trying to also do the same for his duo partner, and it's now top 10. So we're going into the last zone, and it's not even that final threshold of top 5 for the Victory Royale either. Obviously, Zexro now getting a little closer, opening that door so he can edit through and use that shadow bomb and continue forward and maybe get towards any more placements. But he's only on 27 max. I think right now what he needs to do is find elimination, find an impact. Elimination, find some materials on one of these bodies, get the siphon, because he is trying and playing with only 150 or 167 HP. Slacks picks up another kill, or another elimination meanwhile.
Zexro just utilizing his tactical shotgun there to the finest. He gets Sean, takes him out, gets himself back up to full HP, picks up a little bit of build, but now effectively it's done.
He gets revenge!
Slacks. It was a back and forth with his duo the whole game.
Joker. Right here is Lord takes out the last player. No, sorry, Rokane and his teammate Lord take out the last player there in Heart. And the Victory Royale there for them is going to push them to 75, but I think they still need a little bit more than that, Pookie, because we just saw Keys and Slacks versus Zexro and Vinny, that duel there back and forth, the battle ending up pushing them towards around 90 points total, both of them. So, I mean, that's kind of the threshold I'm looking at right now in terms of qualification range. That's the highest I've seen on screen yet. But we'll see. It could change in a blink of an eye.
It could change. All it takes is one game. You can pull out a 20-point game, Paula. It's been done. We've seen it been done over and over again. So you know what? I'm not discounting any of these games, any of these lobbies, until we see that final scoreboard, until we see who is actually going to New York. I know I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. I have been all day with these games.
Yeah, we have, and we saw earlier Famhood's crazy clutch. I think the first one we saw with the chug splash, like a full-on run into the zone style. He actually ended up getting the ice on his feet and then using the chug splash there. But there's a player above him. I don't think this is the right play, as the zone is starting to, you know, constrict them a little bit here, and I think he's going to be left with a flint knock rotate, because nobody around him is using any sort of mobility. That's what you can see they're trying to do right now. Force the rifts out. Force any way that they can get in the zone, but that's not going to work out. No mobility here for anybody is going to be spent, so they're left to go on foot and with the flint knock as well.
They don't really have anybody around them, though. Take a look. Everybody has already kind of made their way over to the zone, so they are safe. They are going to be coming up here on Slappy, though, but Slappy is not really interested in an engagement. It looks as though he's going to just stay in his box and try and heal up, slowly making their way to their zone. This doesn't look good for them at all, Bala.
No, the HP situation not looking good. Does have a medkit, he's going to start popping that. We saw Slappy briefly for a moment. He looked like he was a solo, so maybe that's why he was pushing, but I know for sure that Slappy right there, that's his signature skin. He's going to take out Sheep, but all for nothing, because when you do get eliminated, you end up not getting any credit. Even if this player, even if Sheep got eliminated fully, Slappy would not get credit for that.
And Famhood able to get the revive on Sheep. Sheep does come back up. He is back in this game, but is looking like he's only going to be sitting on 30 HP. But here we are making our way over to the other side of the map. We see TSM Command and High Sky here. I saw grenades in this lobby. We have another very stacked lobby. It's crazy to me that so many people are competing, and we time and time again just see all of these players ending up in the same lobbies together. What are the chances, really? But using the Rift here, he is going to try and maybe see if he can get a little bit of a lay of the land, see where other players. Look how many people take this Rift ball.
Yeah, that's a lot. And you said, what are the chances of them all getting in the lobby? Well, let me tell you, Pookie, it's actually quite high towards the end here. Very high, because everybody has the high points that's putting them all in placement games together, and they're all queuing for that last game at the same time, because they all know, and they're all playing the time game, and they're saying, okay, this is when I got to queue to maximize the efficiency here. But you know what? The flip side of that is they get into these stackers right now with Commandment, High Sky, Zayt, and Saf. You already listed a couple names, Pookie. This is crazy.
And here we see Zunji just falling to this duo. They already have 2 eliminations, but you know what? In these lobbies, in these final games, you're going to have to do a little bit better, and they know that. They're being very aggressive right now, just taking shots on anybody that they hear around them. We see Ghost Saf in here right now. Cryo's down at the bottom. Zayt has unfortunately been taken out of the game, so Saf is going to have to try and pull something out here. They are sitting on 87 points, so that could be close depending on how far Saf is able to take the rest of this game.
Maybe close to that top 1. We know that Saf and Zayt are already qualified, but takes out Rux, and these Flint Knot rotates in the end game are actually top tier. I've never seen such precise movement here with the Flint Knot in the end game. Rux is finally going to go down, but I was going to say, gets the Cypher from that, but it's all for now, because Flint Knot right there was kind of against what we saw earlier. Not accurate, and putting him way too high.
He went way high and hung in the air there, giving his opponent the chance to be able to get a lot of damage on him. He's only sitting at 66 effective HP, but here we have Coop and Grenades. Super awesome player. He was actually at the secret skirmish. Had the chance to talk to him a little bit. Super nice. So if you guys, you know, at home are looking for people to follow, Coop and Grenades are very good. They're very approachable. They're great guys. Shouting them out right now because I love these two.
Saw their performance at Secret Skirmish. Now here in the World Cup, seeing what they can do, where they can end up in the leaderboards, edging their way around the zone. Unfortunately, Coop is going to get kind of stuck out right now. He's really close to that other player. He could have made an edit there, but no, he's going to back up right towards Grenades. And we're into the top 10 right now.
Grenades is going to be given that big show by Coop so that he can get all of the HP they possibly can, because they're not going to have much time anymore to do any of those things. They are having to rotate now, moving into the next. It's not the next zone, it's really the last zone. It's just going to be continuously moving at this point all the way over to that small little dot that you see on the mini-map there to the west. So these players are really going to have to utilize their builds effectively, their resources effectively. We see people dropping here down. Coop takes out Graska there with 2 shots from the combat shotgun, and then just uses the pickaxe there to just completely take him out. Gets the shot on shot again, and these flicks
Oh, il vient de se prendre 2 sales balles. Again, it's Tickers by himself, and we've seen this situation time and time again today. Coop and Grenades being the only duo remaining. Daxter in a little bit of a fight here with Ziff. What is going to be the end of that situation? That one is key, because that's going to signal Grenades and Coop to take low ground. It's going to be Ziff who takes the win there. And he controls low ground right now, but maybe not for long. Hold on, what just happened to Grenades? He actually got knocked out from Ziff, and Ziff completely dominates the low ground, but Tickers comes down from the high and saves the day. And saves the day for his duo, because they just pushed themselves into 87 points with that victory royale and that 2 elimination game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if enough. You said earlier that you think 90 points is going to be the threshold here for NA East, but I know we have Zeke standing by. Zeke, you've been watching these games with us. How are you finding them?
I think incredible is like an understatement. What's a word above incredible? Magnanimous. What's a word above magnanimous?
Astronomical.
Astronomical. My brain is working through these. What's a word above? All right, anyway.
Herculean?
Listen. No!
You can't say that
No.
word. Golden Boy is the only one who pronounces that word right.
Herculean. It's not that hard. Anyway, these matches have been just a true treat to watch, especially because you can really tell everyone is just putting it all on the line. They're giving it that all, going that extra mile, and it's just... I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cry.
Let's hop into some moments that we saw in the last block that ended up deciding what was going down. So first, check the points in the bottom left-hand corner. Zexro sitting on 81. Vinny is there as well. Watch Zex go to work and look at who he does it against. First, picking up on the keys, getting his third elim. Now onto the high ground, all of a sudden separated away from Vinny, but needs to get into the top 15. Needs every point available in order to make it to New York City. One of the original favorites, the first to play aggressive, and he goes to work here with the uncommon tech. A one-man wrecking crew, slaying his way into the top 5, getting every placement point available except the victory royale, getting slacks right there, but it wouldn't end up being enough. He gets taken down, but 93 points. However, Rokane right here on the high ground has his partner left. Look what's happening on the low ground. It's a 2v1v1. Hart gets the elim onto Zexro, but then gets picked up, and that is going to end up being huge. Hart needed every single point, and more importantly, he needed every single tiebreaker in order to make it to New York City. Let's check out these standings and see where everything fell out. These are the final players moving on from NA East. It is Slacks and Keys, Zexro and Vinny, and then the young Calculator and Cole Mackwood. Now, this match right here, this is the one we just talked about. This was 89 points going through. The tiebreaker came down to victory royales. The difference, Calculator and Mackwood had four victory royales.
Wow.
To BHEG's and Hart's 3. If Hart had gotten 1 elim in that 2v1, if he had gotten anything more out of that situation, they would be going to New York City. Instead, Calculator and Mackwood, with one of the most dominant placement-heavy performances we have seen so far, booking their spot. A huge shout-out, Slacks and Keys. They've been up there every single week, semifinals and finals challenging. And an even bigger shout-out right now to TSM Zexro. Vinny, you're fantastic as well, but Zexro, battling through the wrist injury, not playing through a large portion, taking months off because he couldn't physically move his arm and was struggling to go through, playing Fortnite hurt, to then get on the grind and have an individual performance like that on this stage in the final week. That is clutch. That is the definition, and that is the reason they'll be going to New York City.
There you go. You know, of course, speaking of going to New York, I think we have to punch their tickets. Like over there, punching the tickets. Got me. All right, now, of course, we've got our first list. We got to add our competitors. Here we go. Boop. Got them. Slacks and Keys. You want to handle this one? I'll handle this one over here. Congratulations, Zexro and Vinny. Also, you better synergy right there. Underscoring that. Wait, pretend I touched it and it came up. That's how this works. And finally, Calculator and Mackwood, congratulations. Now, of course, we've got one duo spot left. This list of names is already incredibly stacked to think there's going to be a single duo coming out of NA West.
And it all comes down to this. Like we say all the time in terms of every interaction mattering, but now we've seen the rest of the field. All the other regions are done. Thank you so much for your 10 weeks, but now, if you're not going, you are a spectator until the trios competition on July 14th and 15th. Make sure you go find a trio. Don't try and cause any too much drama there. You know who I'm talking about. But with that being said, just make sure, I know Bala just cracked up in the back. We have one more region left. It's NA West. Right now, we're going to go take a 30-minute break. So what you need to do, go take your dog on a walk, get some dinner, get some exercise, hydrate, eat your vegetables, as Shao Wager would say. We're going to go get some food as well. We'll be back in 30 minutes.
C'est fini.
Non, les prochaines dans 30 minutes. En Amérique de Ouest, du Nord-Ouest.
Ah, dans ce pays.
Dans 30 minutes.
Let's fly down to the lobby to get your swats on love.
On voit des moments maintenant. Oh, le shoot. C'est les TSM.
Et
C'est les TSM.
t'as pas ton clavier?
Si, mais c'est fou. Je joue pas au clavier aujourd'hui.
Tu sais qu'on entend rien.
Ouais, je dis, je joue pas au clavier aujourd'hui.
Pourquoi?
Parce que il est tard.
Vas-y.
Il est tard, je suis crevé, frérot.
J'ai pas fait un 1-1, même si je joue clavier.
C'est où? Demain on jouera, allez.
Ok.
Et il est chaud, le mec.
Hein?
Je dis, il est chaud. Il a des coups de fourchette et le couteau. Frère.
C'est quoi ce bug?
Le loot de bâtard déjà qu'il a. C'est là, Joker? Joker.
everyone here in the Forum in LA. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Creative Showdown. How you feeling today? So much has happened in the world of Fortnite, and we're here about to call probably one of the craziest things you're ever going to see. It's a world premiere game mode and map.
I know that it's going to be a King of the Hill mode.
Forum, make some noise. That's what I'm talking about.
Here we go. The first match. Jordan Fisher,
He's
Curry,
in the corner.
They're going to win the game. This is it. And they pick it up. They have to protect him here, and this is now we're going to start to earn a lot of points. They're climbing that leaderboard, Lupo. They're in the shadows, unseen, and they will have the Ravens' revenge. GG. 2 minutes left on the clock. The Chicken Champions, surely this is going to be a win for them. No!
One point! It's 1 point
remaining! And the Little Whip Warriors might be able to come back into this with enough time. But there he goes. He jumps right back in. And that is going to do it. GG! Game 3 goes to the Chicken Champions.
Every single person to keep in mind, there's a ton of stuff going on here, not just Fortnite. It's just a good time all around, man. Look at him, just dancing it out, sitting inside the control point, 6 minutes remaining, but it's not even gonna matter. That's a victory royale. Game 4 goes to the Fish Fan.
Could it happen? Could the Llama Record Company be our first back-to-back champion? Or will it be the Fish Fam actually being back-to-back in this instance?
He has it. You see the top middle of the D.
He does it!
He got it!
Oh,
Last second! The victory royale!
He's still in it. He's standing strong, and he wins out on the battle. 990, and he's continuing to gain. He's got to get to that wall, and that's going to do it. We want to know who won? We want to know who won?
The Llama Record Company.
Oh my gosh, congratulations!
Give it up one more time for the Llama Record Company! Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys on the battle bus.
Heyo Fortnite fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Flintlock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The Flintlock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the Flintlock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart play.
The Flintlock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2 times headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the Flintlock only allows for 1 shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the Flintlock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made.
Player there, runs out in the storm, jumps, finds him, yeah!
We've seen a decent amount of use out of the Flintlock during the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from a situation, the Flintlock, when you use it, it knocks you some distance so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the Flintlock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it, and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just the kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like him competitive. Definitely deserves a spot here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the Flintlock can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best Flintlock play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe Flintlocking through the air. The final duo spot will come out of NA West, and who will be able to put their name in among the best of the best out of the West. A lot of momentum is going to be with WBG's Rux and Pika, who have now both qualified for solos, and Pika had another outstanding performance in Week 9. Finally, make sure to keep your eyes peeled on FlyQuest Edgy and Liquid Scented, as they both have been absurdly close in so many circumstances. They will be gunning for the final spot and a chance to be on that stage in New York City. Who will be the last best of the West and the final duo pairing to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final? Let's find out.
Welcome back to the final week of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. We're getting ready to hop into our final region and find out who will claim that last spot in NA West. I'm Bala TW, and I'm going to be bringing you guys, driving you guys back in the action, starting with the schedule. So let's catch up on what we saw and where we're going right now. We're going towards NA West. We already had Oceania, Asia wrap up this morning earlier on. Then we moved into Europe. We caught the tail end of that. We then hopped into a couple of Brazil games, but then moved into NA East. We just saw the epic conclusion of that, where Vinny and Zexro and a number of other people have qualified through. And then finally, we're ending here with NA West, the final region for the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. How are these guys earning their points? Well, they are playing over the course of 3 hours, which we just saw, and trying to play a total of 10 matches. And in those matches, they are earning points by both getting placements and eliminations. Each elimination is going to be worth 1 point, but there's a total of 10 placement points up for grabs. The first threshold being that top 15, that's going to earn you 3 points. The next threshold is top 10 for a total of 5 points, and the next threshold is top 5 for a total of 7. And then, of course, the Victory Royale will earn you 3 more points for a total of 10. Now, what are these guys all playing for? Well, not only the spots, but their share of $2 million spread across all the region. Of course, NA West competing for a portion of that, but they are getting, this prize is going to all the players split throughout the region. And of course, the qualifying spots. We have one more qualifying spot. That's it. NA West. We've already seen Europe, their 4. NA East, we've seen their 3. Brazil, Asia, Oceania, we've seen each of their 1, but we've got 1 more to go, and that's NA West. But before we do that, we did just wrap up NA East in those 3 qualifying spots. So we're going to go ahead and hop in. We actually get the chance to talk to one of those qualifying duos. It's Macquid and Young Calculator, and I'm joined by Shio to do this. What's up, guys? Congratulations! You're going to New York City.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more happier for you guys. I've been following you all the way through. Macquid, you've had quite an impressive, growth throughout the entire thing. I just got to ask, it's the first thing we always ask, what is your reaction to qualifying? What was the first thing you guys did? Macquid, I'll start with you.
I mean, I called my mom and my dad. They were both on the verge of crying. I mean, it's incredible. It's like we were the 2, some of the most consistent players that haven't qualified for the Fortnite World Cup, and we've been doing it for 5 days. So I hit up Calc and I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. And for the last week, and we did it. So I'm just so thankful.
Calc, I mean, he just said it, 5 days. This has got to be like, it can't be a surprise. You guys know how good you are, clearly. But 5 days of practice with your duo. What happened after you qualified? What was going through your head?
I was very excited, and my mom didn't believe me. I called her and she said I'm lying. So.
Well, there you
on
go.
live stream too.
All right, Calc, Mac, come on, we know each other. Like, are you hyped or are you hyped, man? Like, we were talking for weeks.
There you go.
Every week, back to back.
I am hyped.
We've gone through like highs and lows. You guys have qualled, not qualled, man. Like, in the moment, that last game, what's going through your mind? Like that very last game, boys, like seriously.
I mean, we queued at the perfect time. We got a decent, pretty easy lobby. We queued on one of the hot drop games, and we got to Pleasant. We actually got it unlooted, and we decided that, hey, if we don't get kills here, we are not going to qualify, because we knew we were aiming for 90 points, and we got just 89, but we had those 4 wins. So I was like, in those end games, we were on high ground, and we were like, hey, man, we got to slay out. Like, we have to. Like, it's now or never. And then I don't know. I was just I wasn't really nervous, but I mean, it was kind of going through my head.
I was nervous at the beginning, but then as we kept going through, I stopped getting less and less nervous.
Now, Calc, you've had like not a rocky relationship, but you've had a very unique relationship with that Fortnite community. Do you think that there's a new level of respect for that young Calc, you know, word out there on the streets? Like, how do you feel right now? Like, how ecstatic do you feel in terms of recognition?
I am so excited. I am so happy.
We don't need to boost his ego anymore. None of that.
Well, gentlemen, I think it is deserved slightly, a little bit of boost of that ego, because you are going to New York, so we're going to see you there. But I do want to give you guys one more chance to, you know, shout anything out you want, and also your socials. Make sure you get those plugs in there. Calculator, we'll start with you.
Follow young_calc on Twitter.
That's it. Young_calc on Twitter. Macwood, what's up?
My Twitch is COL Macwood, and then my Twitter is @COL_Macwood.
Well, there you have it, guys. We will see you in New York, and as we always say, we'll have to grab a slice. But thank you so much, and congratulations. We'll see you there. We have NA West up on deck, guys. Thank you so much for that interview. But this is going to be the last spot up for GrabShy, and we're going to go ahead and take a sneak peek at the standings that are currently unfolding because the action is underway. So here it is, and again, I mean, time and time again, it's always Arkham and Falconer on top, but then the rest of these guys are all fighting because Arkham and Falconer have already qualified. And the rest of these guys as well. Landrock and Punisher, all of a sudden they're on West, but again, they've already qualified too. So the rest of these guys playing for that one spot.
What I find really interesting is Epic Will is actually doing with 40R Storm. Usually it's him and Sealmat, right? All there side by side. So everyone's switching up for week 10. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how things break down. And I'm excited to get going.
I mean, that's the kind of staple duos of NA West right now are well, splitting up at the same time. Epic Will normally playing with Sealmat. Here at 40R Storm, they both actually qualified in solos. So this switch could be an opportunity to triple qualify. I mean, in week 8, they have been playing out of their mind. It's crazy. We saw Aiden and Sean qualify, but the rest of these guys as well, K-Yoon and Takata, had such an amazing run throughout the rest of the weeks. But I mean, I think we want to get in the action because we just kicked up the dust. I want to see who's standing when it all is said and done, when that dust is settled. So we are going to have Shayo joining the cast, and of course, Pookie on the other side. Guys, the stakes are set, and the floor is yours.
Awesome.
Stakes are set, Bala. We are about to hop in to our first set of NA West games. Shy, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty hyped. It's been a fun time. I'm excited to see how the West Brawl goes down. Excited to cast with you as well. So we can get right to it. Games are ready. I'm excited to hop in. Let's jump on that battle bus.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Now, hilariously enough, Shy and I were talking a little bit earlier in our little caster room that, you know, Zeke likes to just, you know, hog for himself, take up all the space on the couch. But we were talking and we realized that we actually live within 10 minutes of each other.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a small world and a fun world as well. So, you know, content coming out on the
Content is going to be created. We can tell you that much. But here we are taking a look at some content here coming out of Jacob and his partner, Dizzle. They are on the edge of shifty shafts here, holding very good high ground, using that advantage to rain down shots on their opponents.
Absolutely. Look at their classic loadout as well. Looks like it's a nice heavy sniper Scar combat in there. Not many new items up in the mix. We've got the classic minis. Looks like they might have not found any chug splashes for them, as I think that's really strong. One thing to point out as well is
taking a perfect shot with a heavy sniper there, taking out Sinnoh like it's nobody's business. Now, he he is going to have to be careful here. He is taking a little bit of time to peek, but it doesn't matter. He did pick up that elimination there.
That's an international snipe, as Sinnoh's usually playing on those Asian servers, switching over to West just to get a better chance of popping off, as the region is a lot more aggressive and consistent at most times. Aim backup goes down. Could not find that hard drive to pick up the aim or game sense in that situation. A big bop coming in. Dizzle catching his builds open, going for that finish. Smart plays. Is it possible? White health getting hit on the storm line. Backup finally goes down. Dizzle picks up that elimination.
And nobody punishing these guys right now, Shai. They're on ultimate high ground, just standing out in the open, just exposing themselves, raining down shots, and nobody is wanting to really punish them for these actions right now. You can see Dizzle taking a ton of time to peek. It is kind of a rough angle, but there are so many players across the river over there that would have the freest of shots on them right now, but it doesn't matter. Dizzle comes out with another heavy snipe. Dizzle and Jacob just going to town with these heavy snipe shots.
Absolute marksman here. He hasn't actually missed, I don't think, the last 3 shots, all intended to go exactly on target. That elimination getting picked up. He's not going to be in the air. 13 total elims for these guys across the board, and they find high ground to connect to as well, giving them the next best position for the next zone moving in. The 6th zone being one of those zones where if you have control and you retain control with a little bit of space, you can just run away with the whole game.
And Dizzle recognizing that and playing that perfectly, trading just 10 health and utilizing his builds to reinforce the high ground there. Does get dropped down a little, but is going to still be an ultimate high ground. Jacob, his partner, is just below him, a few tiles down, but is using a shadow bomb to make sure he gets up beside Dizzle, make sure they are together. They do still have that rift to go, so staying together right now is key. Just like that, using the rift to go to get out of a sticky situation. You love to see it.
Absolutely. One thing we do notice about West, which is kind of different from East, EU, OCE, and BR even, is that this current moment is a lot of people will stick to the storm and actually take damage to push for that elimination. As we all know, it's one spot. You can play your best, but sometimes you have to play above your best potential as well, which is what Dizzle's trying to do, hovering out, seeing if he can kind of expose any possible angles near the backside of the storm, getting into someone's box. Dizzle really low, finally going down, taking out one of the meta boys. He's going to see if his duel can clutch it out now. Jacob, where are you at?
Yeah, Jacob is absolutely on the other side right now. I don't even think he's going to have the opportunity to get Dizzle up. He does make his way over to him, but it is unfortunately going to be too late. Jacob is going to have to say, Dizzle, you're going to get left out in the storm, literally. Here we have Rizzo here, and Brogster just taking out Bluey with the combat shotgun. We see this time and time again. These guns are so strong. The way that they are utilized by these players in both close combat as well as range when they are picking out kills from the sky. We have Brogster here looking for more targets, using the edits, staying close to his partner, who's also raining down shots. Shai, there's so much going on, the chaos.
It's insane. Brogster has that classic loadout as well, a gray AR and a combat with shields. Pookie, what do you think the type of pressure these guys feel when this is all they have? No backup, no riffs.
It's so difficult. You know, you have to be very aware of your surroundings. You need to know where every player around you is, because like we just see right here, if you have to waterfall down and get out, you need to know that there's nobody below you that's going to try and shoot you out or you know, possibly inflict any amounts of damage on you. But Fisco up at the top here, backup, his partner has actually been eliminated, so it is up to him. They have 3 eliminations, 20 points between the two of them. Fisco looking to make a couple of plays here, and he does on Rakori. Rakori goes down, is going to get taken out by the storm. Unfortunately, gets eliminated there. Fisco saying, you know what, I'm going to net myself one more, Pookie. You don't know what you're talking about. I had 2 and I have 3. Huh?
One big thing about this game, too, is backup was actually Fisco's duo who got heavy sniped by Jacob and his partner, and now the roles are reversed. Now they have high ground, Pookie, which is insane. You can see the patience coming through, the use of mobility at the right times. Jacob nowhere to be seen anymore as Fisco runs away with the game. We now have a big action moment happening. Junkman Cutie gets Alec down. He gets cleaned up. Claps is coming up. He's still alive, actually. Finishes off on Alec. Claps gets bopped down by Boop. Big Boops coming out. Fisco still on high ground. It's a 1v1 now. Boop 8D versus Fisco. Fisco with the health advantage. Boop going to be looking to tarp low ground and protect himself as much as possible. Fisco does have that med kit as well to use. He does have advantage. Going to start popping it now to stay a little bit stealthy in zone. Boop now moving up, seeing if he can capitalize or kind of get over that. Fisco set him up. It was a setup the whole time. He baited him out, wanted him to come out and see what's up. The L dance follows up as well. Really nice last-second judgment call from Fisco there. He could have got that med kit off, but decided to just straight up jump out, go for that shot. That was sick.
Boop got booped.
Boop got booped. Absolutely.
He did. But look at these builds. Absolutely wild. Whenever you see different points of elevation there on the map, you know these players are all going to be utilizing their materials to their fullest to make sure their rotations are strong. But here we are in the next match. We have Nolan here. We have Vibes on 60 hertz. Somebody get this man a 144 monitor. Come on.
Hey, sometimes these guys could be fronting, you know, you see that name in the feed, you might get a little bit of confidence, you might overpeak, and then they come straight out with their actual hertz and bop you up.
Oh, I like it. Puns. Is that a Canadian thing? Are puns a Canadian thing? Do you love puns too?
I love puns too.
You know, I'm infamous.
Hey,
My
really?
cookie
Okay.
puns, right?
Cookie puns.
You know that?
Let's see if we can make
I feel like we need to try really hard right now. I know production loves when I make all puns.
I love the puns. I love the puns. But these guys also love results. Still one spot left for all of them. Spraying on metal might not be too effective. He does have the stinks here. Pookie, how would you think Vibes should use these stinks going forward into this game? What's the drawbacks of using them before and then after, later and earlier?
I mean, he knows that he has the down over there, but it doesn't matter. He ended up taking out Bucky anyway. The thing with stinks is you need to really be sure of when you're using them. You know, I know we've talked a little bit about this in the past, but the smaller the zone gets, the more effective they essentially become and the more damage they can inflict on your opponents depending on where they are